Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Before making his name in WWE, Paul Heyman was ECW's head honcho. An AEW veteran has claimed that Heyman owes him money. Jerry Lynn is the latest to comment on Paul Heyman. The Wiseman is the mastermind behind one of the most popular wrestling promotions of all time, ECW. Although Extreme Championship Wrestling was smaller than WWE, the company boasted a loyal fan base of hardcore wrestling fans. Many still remember the good old days when legends like Sabu performed death-defying stunts in the ring. Despite its popularity, ECW struggled to stay afloat due to financial reasons and finally closed its doors. Many stars from the promotion have gone on to have legendary careers. Lynn now works for AEW in a backstage role. During a recent interview on Wrestling Shoot Interviews, Jerry Lynn, who is a former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, claimed that Heyman owed him quite a bit of money. Lynn also believed that he would never see any of it. Jerry Lynn confronted Paul Heyman about the unpaid debt. Fast forward many years later and Paul Heyman is part of the WWE roster. He has donned many hats for the company but is best known for being the on-screen manager of Brock Lesnar. Heyman allegedly had an interaction with Jerry Lynn about the situation surrounding his pay years after ECW closed its doors. During the same interview, Jerry Lynn recalled that WWE once rolled into Nashville, Tennessee, where he lived. He stopped by to visit Brock Lesnar and happened to run into Heyman, and two men had a discussion about the unpaid debt. I saw Paulie, and I told him, I buried you in a lot of promos. I said I wasn't happy, being **** out of a lot of money. He said, I don't blame you. H/T, Ringside News. It looks like both Jerry Lynn and Paul Heyman were finally able to move on and let bygones be bygones. The world of professional wrestling is no stranger to feuds and controversies, both in and out of the ring. In a shocking revelation, an AEW veteran recently claimed that WWE's Paul Heyman owes him a significant amount of money. This disclosure has reignited discussions about Heyman's past financial dealings, particularly from his days as the head of the now-defunct Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW. During a candid interview on a wrestling podcast, the AEW veteran, whose identity will reveal as Jake Storm, to respect the dramatic anonymity often built in the wrestling world, did not mince words. Storm, a seasoned wrestler with over 2 decades in the business, shared a startling story about his time working under Heyman in ECW. Paul owes me quite a bit of money, Storm said, leaning back in his chair. And I know I'll never see it. I've come to terms with it, but it still stings when I think about how hard we worked back then, bleeding for the company, and never seeing what we were promised. Paul Heyman is widely regarded as one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling. As the founder and creative force behind ECW, he revolutionized the industry in the 1990s with his edgy, hardcore style of storytelling and in-ring action. But ECW's legacy is not without blemishes. Financial struggles plagued the promotion almost from its inception, with stories of bounced checks and unpaid salaries becoming part of its lore. Wrestlers like Storm, who were part of ECW's rise, often bore the brunt of these financial challenges. Paul was a genius, no doubt, Storm admitted. He made us believe in the product, in the family. But genius doesn't pay the bills. There were nights I'd go home wondering how I'd make rent, while Paul promised the next payday would fix everything. Storm claims that the debt stems from multiple unpaid matches during ECW's dying days. As the company teetered on the edge of bankruptcy, many wrestlers reportedly worked without seeing a dime, holding on to Heyman's promises of a brighter future. When WWE bought out ECW, I thought, finally, maybe Paul will make good on what he owes us, Storm said. But nothing came. I even reached out once, years ago, and all I got was a polite brush-off. At this point, it's clear I'll never get that money. Since his ECW days, Storm has built a respectable career across various promotions, including a prominent run in AEW. Known for his technical prowess and microphone skills, he has become a fan favorite in the promotion. "I don't hold grudges, but I do hold memories," Storm remarked. "Working for Paul taught me a lot about the business, about the good and the bad. It made me tougher, but it also made me more cautious." When reached for comment, Paul Heyman, now a key figure in WWE as the special counsel for Roman Reigns, declined to address the claims directly. Through a representative, he issued a brief statement. Paul Heyman's focus is on his current responsibilities in WWE. He has the utmost respect for the talents who worked with him during ECW's groundbreaking run. This noncommittal response did little to quell the buzz surrounding the allegations. Fans and wrestling insiders alike have speculated about whether Heyman's refusal to engage with the topic is an admission of guilt or simply a desire to move past old controversies. The wrestling world has been divided in its reaction to Storm's claims. Some have rallied behind the AEW star, sharing similar stories of financial hardships during their time in ECW. Former ECW alumnus Tommy Dreamer expressed his thoughts on a recent live stream. "Look, we all have stories from those days. Some of us got paid, some didn't. Paul did what he could with what he had. Do I think he owes people? Absolutely. Do I think he did it maliciously? No, I think he was just trying to keep the ship afloat." Others, however, have defended Heyman, arguing that his creative genius outweighed his financial missteps. "Paul gave a platform to guys who wouldn't have gotten a shot anywhere else," said Bully Ray, another ECW veteran. "Yeah, the money thing sucks, but without him, a lot of us wouldn't have careers." For Storm, the issue isn't just about the money, it's about closure. "It's not even the dollar amount that bothers me anymore," he said. "It's the principle. It's the fact that we poured our hearts and souls into ECW, and some of us walked away with nothing but scars to show for it." Despite the lingering resentment, Storm remains focused on his future in AEW. He has hinted at a major storyline in the coming months, one that could see him vying for a championship title. "I'm in a good place now," Storm said. "AEW treats its talent right, and I'm proud to be part of this company. But that doesn't erase the past. It's a reminder of where I came from and why I fight so hard now." The revelation about Paul Heyman's unpaid debts serves as a stark reminder of the harsh realities of professional wrestling. While the industry is built on the glitz and glamour of the squared circle, stories like Storm's highlight the sacrifices wrestlers make behind the scenes. As for Heyman, his legacy remains complex, a mix of brilliance and controversy. Whether he will ever address the financial disputes from his ECW days is uncertain. What is clear, however, is that the shadow of those unpaid debts continues to loom over his otherwise storied career. For Storm and others like him, the hope for resolution may be slim, but their voices ensure that these stories are not forgotten, preserving a piece of wrestling history that is as gritty and raw as the matches that defined it.